I've added a few media items in here that I have at home. I added a PC game called Need for Speed, a Blu-ray disc called Toy Story, a DVD called Star Wars, a DVD called Jaws, and then 2 books called The Lord of the Rings and Charlotte's Web. One thing you can do with your table here is you can adjust the column widths a little bit. Go ahead and put your mouse, click on the ID column here where it says ID. Actually put your mouse on the ID and then move your cursor over and hold on the edge of that cell, and then you can move over to the left like this and let go, and that way that column doesn't take up so much space. And that way you can also make your year column a little bit more narrow, and your sale price a little bit more narrow, and your rating a little bit more narrow, and that way you can see everything really easily even when your window is small. As far as the title, you might want to make that a little bit bigger. You click on the word title and then you can stretch that out a little bit. So you should have at least 20 items on your list. Now remember, the ID numbers aren't always going to be 1 through 20. Sometimes numbers will disappear accidentally or on purpose, and that's not a big deal as long as you have at least 20 items. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a report. Making a report, there's lots of ways to do it. We're going to use the report wizard. So click on Create, and you'll find the Report Wizard button. It says Report Wizard, and the little note here says Launch the Report Wizard, which helps you to create simple, customized reports. Go ahead and click on that, and it's going to say you must save first if you haven't saved it yet. So go ahead and click on Yes, and we're going to save this table as Media. Go ahead and click OK. And if you already saved it, that's easy to change. You just click. I'm going to cancel out of the Report Wizard. You just click on the little arrow to open your navigation pane. Then you right click on the table and you can rename the table. I can't rename it while it's open, but I can click on it and close it, right click on it and rename it. And so then you can rename that table anything you want. So the name of this table should be Media. Alright, so we don't need to have the table open in order to do the Report Wizard. Click on the Report Wizard. And our directions are to make a report. The title is going to be Best Media Items. Best Media Items of, and then your name. You're going to have all 6 of the fields you made on your report, and you're going to sort it in 3 ways. So your primary sort is going to be by the rating. So it's going to go from the highest rated to the lowest rated. So the highest rated item should be at the top, the lowest rated should be on the bottom. Then the secondary sort, this is for ties. So that's going to be the sale price. How much would you sell it for? And so if you rated a bunch of things, say 9, you got a lot of ratings of number 9, now it's going to sort those, the computer will sort those from highest to lowest. So the one that you would sell for the highest amount of money will be on the top, and the lowest amount of money will be on the bottom. The tertiary sort, or the third sort, tertiary sort, will be the title. So suppose you had an item that had exactly the same rating and the exact same sale price. How is it going to sort those? Well, it's going to sort those by the title alphabetically. So let's go ahead and do that with our wizard. So we're in the wizard. We're going to add all of the fields except for the ID field. We don't need the ID field because that's just a number and it might not mean anything at all other than it's a record. So we're done with this first one. These are the fields we want on our report. Go ahead and click on Next. Now it's going to ask, do we want to add any grouping levels? No, we don't want any grouping levels. So we're just going to click on Next. Here we go. We're going to sort. What sort order do you want for your records? You can sort records by up to 4 fields in either ascending or descending order. So let's look at our directions again. It says our primary sort, the first sort, is going to be the rating from the highest to the lowest. So we're going to put in the rating, and it's going to be from the highest to the lowest. That would be descending. If the highest one was at the top and the lowest one was at the bottom, that would be descending. So we need to click this button once to change that to descending. So your ratings of 9 and 10 would be at the top, and going down to the bottom, your rating of 1 would be at the bottom. Okay, the second sort we're going to do, if there's a tie, then we're going to sort it by the sale price. So that would be the next one. If you were selling it, we're going to sort it by sale price. And again, you'd have the highest sale price at the top and the lowest at the bottom. So this is also descending. It's getting smaller as we go down. Finally, the third sort is the title, and we're going to go alphabetical on that. So alphabetical means it needs to be alphabetical or in order. So we're going to go to title, and it doesn't say alphabetical, but it says ascending, and ascending is the same thing as alphabetical when you're doing sorting. Now that you have your sort order figured out, you can click on Next. It's going to ask how do you want to lay out your report. You can just leave this as it is. Click on Next. It's going to ask what style you want it. Just leave it right as it is. Just leave it alone. Go ahead and click on Next. And what do you want the title to be for this report? Well, let's double check. It says the title of the report needs to be Best Media Items of, and then your name. Best Media Items of, and then your name. So type that in, Best Media Items of, and then you can put your first name and last name. So I'm just going to put John Smith or Jane Smith. But you put your own name in there. All right. That's all the information the wizard needs to create your report. Do you want to preview the report or modify the report's design? We want to just preview the report. So let's click Finish and see how the report looks. So it takes a few seconds for the report to appear. I'm going to click on the shutter bar to close that shutter bar, and let's take a look. Now I only had a few items here. So I've got the rating, and notice it rated from the highest rating to the lowest. So that is descending from the highest to the lowest. And then if there was a tie, it rated it on the sale price. So Charlotte's Web was 25, that's the highest, then 20, 10, 9, 9, 8. Now what if they're both ties? If it's 9 and 9, well, then it should have rated, sorted it by the title, so Jaws is alphabetically before Star Wars. So that's how the sorting worked. Now let's adjust our report just a little bit so it looks a little bit better. The first thing we should do is make sure that the columns are wide enough. And so go ahead and right-click on the report and go to the Layout view. The Layout view. Right now we're in the Print preview. Okay, so now we're in the Layout view. We can close our field list by clicking on the X right here. For our rating column, why don't we center everything there? So how do we do centering? We click on the column and make sure everything's highlighted. You might have to double click on it, and then find the centering command. You might have to click off of it and then back on it, and then make sure you go to Home, and then you can click on Center. So that's all centered. Let's do the same thing for the sale price. We can center that column. Got to select the column and center it. And let's see, anything else that might look good centered. How about the year? So we center that. And let's also center our headings. So we're just centering each heading so it looks nice. And then let's make sure our headings are bold. So click on the heading and click bold. Actually, they look like they are bold. There we go. So just make sure they're nice and bold there. Now you need to look and see if there's anything that's cut off on your report. Like right here it says Dance Dance Revolution Hottest Party 3. We can't read that because this column is not wide enough. So make every column wide enough that you can read everything in the column. This column type here, that's really wide, so we can make that narrower. And the publisher column is also really wide, so we can make that a lot narrower also. So the column should be just the right size. Alright, so that's how you make the first report. Now you can make all the future reports all on your own. Good job.